Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be sharing with you the best in-game and computer settings you can set for League of Legends for the most optimal performance and to maximize your frames per second. So the first thing you'll need to do is load up League of Legends, and once you're in a game you can press the escape key to bring up the settings menu. And we want to come over to this video tab. Now you want to set the screen resolution to the one with the star next to it, which is going to be 920 by 1080 for most of you, and we like to keep the window mode to full screen, especially when it comes to competitive gaming. And then you want to make sure that hide eye candy is checked, because this will turn off all of the small animals that appear in game and some unnoticeable river animations, but it will give you a nice little FPS boost. You can then disable enable screen shake, and you want to keep this to use relative team colors. Now for character quality, we're going to turn this down to whatever you feel comfortable with, but most people prefer to have this set to medium for a nice balance between graphics quality and performance. Environmental quality we are going to set to medium for again a nice balance. Effects quality we can set to low, and shadow quality to low. Underneath advanced we want to set the frame rate cap to uncapped, since generally higher frame rates are typically better. Anti-aliasing doesn't really change much in terms of graphics in game, so I'd recommend keeping this off for a little performance boost. Vertical sync you also want to keep off, and for these accessibility sliders they're really optional depending on your computer monitor, but for the majority of you I would just say keep these at default. Now once we finish in the video tab we can come to the interface section, and you want to come down to the health and resource bar section. Now in here you want to make sure you have disabled enabled HUD animations, and you also want to disable show health bar for animations, as keeping these two checked can cause lagging issues. Lastly we can come over to the game tab, and we want to deselect where it says enable smooth camera, as this can also cause performance issues. Now that's all of the in-game settings done, so you just want to hit OK to save your changes, and now let's look at some settings that we can change on our actual computer. So one of the first things we want to do on our actual computer is to make sure we're running the most up-to-date GPU drivers, as outdated drivers can lower your FPS and cause performance issues. Luckily there's a free tool we can use for this that makes updating drivers super quick and easy. You just need to head to an internet browser, and we want to head over to a website called drivereasy.com. Now from here we can just scroll down, and we want to come to this download section and hit the download button. Once you've downloaded and installed Driver Easy, just head over to the app, and we want to press the green big scan now button. And what this tool is going to do is just going to basically scan your computer for any outdated drivers. And then once this tool's complete, you just need to come into these one by one and click the update, and just follow the steps in order to update the driver. Now you can click this big update all button at the bottom here, but this is part of the pro package and you do have to pay for that, so I'd recommend just sticking with the free version and coming into each of them and updating them one by one. Now once we've updated our drivers, the next thing to do is to disable full screen optimizations, as this is a setting that can lower your performance when gaming. You just need to head over to your desktop and locate the League of Legends shortcut, and then we can right click and come over to open file location. Now from here we need to go back a folder by coming into the three little dots and selecting Riot Games, then head over to the League of Legends folder, and we just want to scroll down until we find the League client executable file. And then we want to right click this and come into properties, into the compatibility tab, and you want to make sure disable full screen optimizations is checked, run this program as administrator is checked, and then come into change high DPI settings. Now at the bottom here you want to make sure this one's ticked where it says high DPI scaling override, and you want to make sure it's set to application and you can press OK, and then apply OK to save the changes. Then once we've done that we need to scroll back up into the game folder, and then if we head down to where it says League of Legends, and we want to do the same thing again by right clicking it, coming into properties, into the compatibility tab, and again we want to disable full screen optimizations, run this program as administrator, and change the high DPI scaling override settings. Then we can select OK, apply, and OK. Now once we've done that we want to stay in this game folder, and we want to come up to the top bar here, and we want to copy all of this by either pressing Ctrl C on our keyboard, or we can just right click it and come into copy. Then we want to come over to the start menu by pressing the Windows key on our keyboard, and you want to search for graphics settings, and then just head over to the graphics settings icon. The first thing you want to do is where it says change default graphics settings. If we come over to that, you want to make sure hardware accelerated GPU scheduling is enabled, and then we can come back. And then we want to come over to where it says add an app, make sure you've got desktop app selected, and then come into the browse button. Now inside of this folder we can come up to the top here and paste what we copied earlier, and then just hit enter. And then we can select the League of Legends client and just select add. Now once you've got your League of Legends client in this list here, come over to options, and we want to select high performance, and then we can just press save to save our changes. Now a couple more things that we can change on our computer. We want to come over to the start menu again, and this time you want to search for settings, and then we want to come into the gaming tab on the left, then we can head into game bar, and you want to make sure this is set to off. and then we can come back to the previous window, and you want to come into game mode. Inside game mode, you want to make sure this is set to on, as this will give you the highest performance. Next thing you want to do is you want to come into system, and then you want to select notifications, and you just want to turn off notifications, as we don't want our computer listening for notifications, as this can interrupt our connection and gaming experience. Lastly, head all the way down to where it says Windows Update, and then just click this button here where it says check for updates, and just ensure that you're running the most up-to-date version of Windows. Now we can close off of this window, and I have one more step for you guys to completely boost the FPS of your game and to get the most out of your gaming experience. Now you want to come back to your desktop and find the League of Legends shortcut, and once again you want to right click and come over to Open File Location. Now come back one folder by clicking the three dots and into Riot Games, and you want to come into League of Legends, then come into this config folder. Now where it says game.cfg, you want to right click this and you want to open it with a notepad. Now what you want to do is you want to scroll all the way down to the bottom here where it says color brightness 0.55, and you just want to hit enter 2 times to create a new line. Now in the description of this video I've added a link, and that will contain all of the text that you need to put in here. As you can see, it's all of this text here, and this will give you a nice FPS boost. Of course, if you don't like how the game looks after applying these changes, you can always come back into this text file and remove the text. So as you can see, under the accessibility one, I've just pasted all of this in here. And like I said, that can be found in the description of this video. Now I'm sure by now if you followed all of these steps, you'd have seen a nice FPS boost when playing your game. But if you still are experiencing issues, please drop a comment below and I'll try my best to assist you. If this video did help you, please drop a like and subscribe. Until next time.